Welcome to another episode of Have You Seen It? I am Charles, and I am with the magnificent Denise. How you doing, girl?
I am well. How are you, Charles, and moviegoers?
I am doing well. I hope all our moviegoers are doing well. You got the sniffles today, don't you?
Yes, I have the sniffles, so I have my tissue. I will be blowing my nose every 5 minutes, and I have hand sanitizer
We are.
as well.
Are you promoting something here? Yeah, you did that. This is the hand sanitizer. So Denise,
Yes.
get into this thing, girl. Yeah.
Alrighty.
So, what movie are you going to recommend to our audience tonight?
Okay, tonight or today,
Or today?
this evening, I am recommending the movie 21 Bridges, which stars the late, great Chadwick Boseman, Sienna Miller, and J.K. Simmons, aka Farmers Insurance and Academy Award winner.
Yes, it is.
You know, it took me a while to get this movie. The producer was kind enough to order it for me, so I now have it in my DVD
Hercules,
collection.
Hercules, Hercules.
And, you know, critics trashed this movie.
They
I mean,
did.
trashed it. There was not one good review that I heard about this movie, and I'm like, it can't be that bad. So, regardless of what the critics said, I felt it was my duty to watch this movie and judge for myself. This movie is about a New York City detective played by Chadwick who is known as a killer of cop killers. So that's the reputation that he has um, around the city. So this particular night, a robbery occurs. And when he gets the call to investigate to see what happens, he sees that there are a lot of missing pieces to this puzzle. The police arrive on the scene and they have their account of the story, but things don't quite match up.
Right.
So, as the investigation continues, Chadwick realizes, hey, these robbers are on the run. We've got to shut the city down. So we need to shut down Manhattan, hence the 21 bridges, to make sure that these cops don't leave the city. I'm sorry, these cop killers actually don't leave the city. So as the investigation continues and they're searching for these killers and they get leads and they're chasing them, cat and mouse type of thing. Uh, Chadwick's character realizes that I think there's a conspiracy going on. And not only do I need to find the perpetrators of the robbery, I need to find out who is the mastermind behind this whole conspiracy. So basically, this chase goes on throughout the night and into the early morning hours before all the pieces of the puzzle come together and we find out what really happened. Okay. So, in terms of the storyline being familiar, it is because good
Right. Right.
cop, questionable circumstances, bad guys, drugs.
Right.
Okay, so that's basically the plot. But I was very intrigued by the movie. I thought it was suspenseful
Right.
from the time the action started and everything popped off. I was there.
Not
And
great.
the movie was only 90 minutes long,
Right. Right.
but at no point did I feel like the critics were right and this is an awful movie. It was no better or worse than any other cop movie with the same type of storyline. So I do recommend 21 Bridges. If you're missing Chadwick, check it out. I think you'll enjoy it.
Don't grab a tissue now.
Oh.
My recommendation for this week is I Spit on Your Grave.
Don't you dare.
Starring Sarah Butler as Jennifer Hills, Jeff Branson, Andrew Howard, and Chad Lindbergh. It's about a novelist, Jennifer Hill, played by who I just said, Sarah Butler. And she traveled from New York. She was traveling from New York City to Louisiana to work on her new book. As she was going there, she got in Louisiana and she got to the town that she was going to. She had rented out a cabin and she couldn't find a way. I have that problem all the time when I go to little towns, all right? And so she stopped at the local gas station and asked directions. Johnny, played by Jeff Branson, he told her how to get there, and then he tried to hit on her. Now, she's a city girl. She put him in his place like really quick, in so much embarrassing him, all right? So she goes to the cabin, she gets there, and she finds out she has a plumbing problem. So she calls the local handy guy for all the cabins, Matthew, and he's played by Chad Lindbergh. He's really nice guy, but he stutters, right? And he comes in and he fixes the issue, right? She sees that he's kind of nervous around her. Jennifer sees that, and so to reward him, she gave him a little kiss on the cheek. All right. Now, your boy, he got pretty excited about that. So much so he went back and told his guys, right? And one of his guys was Johnny, the guy that got turned down at the gas station. So he's like, oh no, she gonna kiss you, right, and embarrass me? That's not happening, right? So he grabbed Matthew and got some more of his boys and went over there, and he said he's gonna teach her a lesson. So he got there and they assaulted her, pushed her around, and she got away and ran out of the cabin. When she was running through the woods, she met the sheriff. And the sheriff, she was telling the sheriff what happened, and the sheriff said, "Hey, let's go back here and straighten this out." And so he goes back, they go back together, and they get there in the cabin, and the guys are still there. They're just hanging out, all right? And to her surprise, the whole thing turned totally awkward way. No, not even an awkward, a horrible way that she never imagined it was going to go this way. The sheriff went in with the other guys and they beat her up and they gang raped her. And it was not pretty. It was not a pretty sight. So she manages to get away, but they go after her, right? And as the sheriff finna get ready to shoot her, she was on this bridge and she falls off the bridge into the river. So they try to go look for her, but they couldn't find her. So they assumed that she was dead, but she did survive. And she came back, and those guys, as she got through with them, I know, because I seen the picture already. They wish that they never would have heard of Jennifer Hill. So this right here is a remake from the 1978 classic. The one I looked at is the 2010 version of I Spit on Your Grave. Parents, be careful not letting your little kids look at this movie because there is some gruesome stuff that goes on in this. And also the rape scenes were just graphic. They were very graphic. So wow. My recommendation for this week is I Spit on Your Grave.
Okay.
So, Denise,
yes.
Who is your nailed it this week?
Okay, my nailed it. I was mad at him like 3 or 4 weeks ago, but my nailed it for this week is Ice Cube, aka Doughboy from the classic John Singleton movie, Boys in the Hood. You want to see a dead body? He didn't have to convince me
No, no.
at all. I don't think he needed any acting lessons from Juilliard to play that part. I think it was quite natural for him and it was very believable. So my nailed it is Ice Cube as Dope Boy in Boys in the Hood.
My nailed it for this week is Wesley Snipes in all the Blade movies. Blade 2, Blade Trinity. I ain't got 3 hands, I got to put 2 up too. So now Wesley Snipes played a half human, half vampire hunter. And he did a great job in this, right? I mean, he was really, really believable. And he's really almost on par with the character in the comic books. So my nailed it actor for this week is Wesley Snipes in all the Blade movies.
Okie dokie. Thank you. Folks, you can go to our YouTube channel, subscribe to that channel, and make sure you hit that like button. And we are available on every podcast platform in the universe.
Yes, we are.
Just type in, have you seen it with Charles and Denise? And there we will be.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Have You Seen It? I am Charles, and I am with my homie, Denise, and we are out.